monitoring in general is a big deal to the exchanges, obviously for different reasons. First of all, overall you need to understand the health of your system, and just because you want to provide a good service to your members, and that's always a concern that, you know, maybe you're not delivering the performance and the quality of service that you think you are. So monitoring is always good for just taking care of yourself and your business. In addition, of course, is a fairly large set of rules and regulations an exchange must follow, and that needs to be monitored and supervised. And normally that is done downstream in the trading system, where the exchange, through different sets of software, will look at the order flows and the trade flows of the day. This is after the fact, so to speak, and we'll make sure that, you know, nothing malicious did occur during the day, or that certain betting patterns or whatever you want to call them didn't occur, because certainly there's that part of the industry where you have to look for people gaming other players in the industry, which is something you want to avoid. And that's fairly mature. There are a lot of technologies out there for that. I think what's coming now is more, I'd say, two different sets of tools. One is the non-intrusive performance and monitoring tools, which are somehow attached to the network infrastructure in a non-intrusive way, in that, you know, the exchange doesn't lose performance or quality of service even though the tools are there in the background, actively monitoring the incoming data now. And that can only grow. I think that's still fairly immature. I think mostly what people do today is just checking latency numbers and things, but in the future I'd be surprised if you don't see more, you know, advanced monitoring there, you know. And in addition, of course, to the pre-trade risk management, which is a fairly trendy thing right now, and it's probably here to stay, where actively traders are being monitored for what sort of positions they're taking during the day. And the exchange has a responsibility to make sure that they're not, you know, going haywire with their bets on the market, and that their positions are being held within reasonable, you know, sizes, so that there's not too much debt, for example, built up during the day, where at the end of the day they have an obligation to pay more than they can, and so on and so forth. So there's definitely more focus, I'd say, on the incoming data, whereas traditionally the exchanges have worried more about the post-trade analysis, which is also important, of course. You're not going to get rid of that, but this is a new set of tools and techniques that we apply to the order flows to essentially create orderly markets. And this is, of course, in addition to everything else, this is important given that there's so many, you know, algorithms trading now. The computers are actually doing a lot of trading on their own, so who knows if you have a bug in the software, who's going to catch that, unless these tools do. So it makes sense to do more of that now, when there are, you know, the introduction of soft bots trading is changing the type of trading, really. Yeah. So I guess that's where we are.